Hey everyone, Ms. Schlemmer here. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. So this is our last week of school and I'm so sad and I just can't believe it. I feel like we just started school like a couple weeks ago. I can't believe we're wrapping up the end of the year. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and combine the reading and math video for today, so you only have to watch one. But our reading activity for today is I'm just gonna hold up some flashcards with some letters on it, and as I flip through them, I want you to say the sounds. So we'll do just our alphabet with long and short vowels, and then we will do some digraphs. Okay, so then after we do our little reading activity, then I'll go through all of the instructions for your fun little assignments today, okay? So, like I said, I'm gonna flash a letter up here, and all I want you to do is say the sound. So I'll say A says, and you say ah. And then with our vowels, I want us to go over the long and short vowel sounds too. So we know that our short A is gonna say ah, and long A says its name, which is A. Good. B says B. Oh, can't work my fingers here. There we go. C says K. D says D. E says but E is also a vowel, so our short E is gonna say and our long E says its name, which is E. F says G says G. H says H or H. I is another vowel, so our short I is gonna say I. Long I says I. J says J. Oh, I skipped one here. There we go. K says K. L says L. M says M. N says N. Let's get our note cards here. We're on O. O is another vowel, so our short O says ah. So remember, your mouth makes that O shape, so ah. And our long O is gonna say O. Good. So P says, oh my goodness, my fingers are not working here. P says P. Q says Qu. And remember, whenever we're writing and there's a Q, I always need a U. So whenever there's a Q, there's going to be a U. Good. R says S says S. T says T. U. So U is our other vowel. So short U is going to say and long U is gonna say its name, U. V says V. W says W. Come on, there we go. X says X. Y says Y. And Z says Z. Very good. All right, kindergarten. So I hope you said all of your sounds with me. Let's go ahead and jump over to the digraphs that we've learned during this little remote learning. So whenever there's a T and an H put together, remember they don't say their individual sounds. They're gonna say good. So go ahead and make that sound. Okay. Next we have SH. So what does S and H say when they are put together? They're not going to say their individual sounds. They're going to say shh. Now we've got CH. So whenever there's a C and an H together, they're going to say ch. Next we have WH. So this one's a little tricky because it does say its individual sound, but then the H stays quiet. So whenever there's a W and H together, it makes the sound W. And our last one is PH. So P and an H, they don't say their individual sounds. Instead, it makes that F sound that says F. Okay. And that is it for our little flashcard activity. I hope you had fun saying all your sounds and practicing those. Let's go ahead and go over some of your little activities that I have for you, okay? So the first one is this animal ABC, and it has the alphabet listed here, and all it wants you to do is come up with a animal, or try to come up with an animal that starts with each sound or each letter in the alphabet. So if we go to A says A, so you could put alligator because it starts with that A sound. But yeah, just try and come up with all of your animals that start with each letter, okay? So that'll be a little bit of a challenge. Next, for writing, you have a wacky wild animal. Yep. Okay, so this paper came with all these animals underneath. I went ahead and cut them up. So what it wants you to do is cut out these animals, okay, and mix them up, okay? You can put them in a bowl or anything that you have. Here, let's use, okay, so I have my little bucket here, so I'm gonna put all of my animals, okay? So you mix them up, mix them up, mix them up, and then you pick two little cards, okay? So I picked a zebra and a grasshopper, okay? So what it wants you to do is create an animal that is a mix between a zebra and a grasshopper, or whatever two animals that you pick. And then you're going to create it, okay? And you're going to draw a picture of your wacky animal that you create. That's a mix between your two animals. And then you have to name it and then write a description. So you could say that if I mixed my zebra and grasshopper, I could do an animal that has green and white stripes because a grasshopper is green, and instead of doing the black, you know, you have to use your imagination here, kindergarten. You could do a zebra that has legs like a grasshopper so it can jump super high like the grasshopper. You could add antennas to your zebra, and you could add a tail to your grasshopper. Just mix up some of the characteristics of your two animals, and then just write your description and draw a nice picture. I would love to see what you come up with, kindergarten. So when you're done, if you could post pictures of your wacky animals, and I just want to see your creativeness shine through, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. So that is for reading and writing. Now, your math little activity that we have for today is Go Fish, okay? So I have included the game, which should be printed on thick cardstock. So you'll have to cut out all of those little squares. And then this is what the instructions looks like. So basically, it's just like Go Fish if you've ever played with Go Fish. Now you can play with mom, dad, any of your siblings, grandma and grandpa, or your aunt or uncle, whoever you're with today. You play Go Fish. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna shuffle those decks. You're gonna have a pile of equation cards. So the equation cards are gonna look like, I think, so you'll have like 1 plus 1. Okay, so you'll have equation cards that look like this, and then you'll have other cards that just have the answers, okay? So you'll mix them up, okay? And it says stack, so each player gets 5 cards. And it says stack the remaining cards in a pile in the center, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you want to match the equation cards with the answers, with the matching sums, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna ask whoever you're playing with, do you have 1 plus 1? Okay, if you have 2, you'd say, do you have 1 plus 1? And, or if you have 1 plus 1 and you know the answer is 2, you could say, hey, do you have the number 2? So if the person you have has that correct sum or equation card, that's when you collect it and you get your pair, and then you put it in your pile. And then if they do not, that's when they say go fish, and you go pick up a card from the center, okay? So I believe you should also have wild cards. Now, wild cards can be anything. They can be an equation card or a sum card, and that is how you play. So the game is over when there are no more cards that can be played, and the player with the most pairs of equations and the correct sum, okay? So the player with the most number of matches wins. And that is it for Go Fish. If you have any questions, I would love to try and help you guys out. But this is just a fun little math game that you can play with your families. So let me know how it goes. And that is it from me, kindergarten. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, and I will see you tomorrow.